What's going on, y'all? Arel Moody here. Super excited about today's AMA session. For those of you who are attending an AMA session for your first time, or if you're watching this recording for the first time, here's how these sessions work. The AMAs are set up to answer any questions that you have whatsoever. This is not onboarding tool, so it's a little bit distinct, but when you start using the tool, you're gonna have questions. How do I move around my testimonials? How do I download my testimonials? Hey, I just did a speaking engagement. What do I now do? Or I have a speaking engagement coming up and I'm freaking out a little bit. I don't want to do this wrong. I don't know what to do with my spacing. I don't know what to do with my timing. I don't know what to do with my report. I got my report. It's just sitting there. What do I do? So any question you have whatsoever, we're here to answer it. If you have any questions at all about speaking, the industry, markets, networks, sales, or any of those things, this is also a proper place to ask those questions as well. This is an opportunity for all of us to lift as we climb. As I mentioned, typically in all of these sessions, what I love about our speaker community is that we understand that, there's over 100,000, roughly over 100,000 trade and associations that do multiple events a year. There's over 5,000 colleges that do multiple events a year. There's over 100 something thousand high schools and middle schools. There's probably, I don't even know what the number is on private businesses and software companies and insurance agents that throw events. So no matter how many events you do in a year, you're not doing 0.000000000 infinite zero to the one power of the amount of events that we have here. So I can eat, you can eat, I speak all the time, many of you speak all the time, and we don't conflict. And what I love about the speaking industry so much is that, let's say one event, they're gonna choose Michael Pope to speak, and then the next event, they'll choose me to speak. Or maybe me and Mike Pope Jr. will speak at the exact same event, right? And then we'll be on the same docket. So this is not a community or a place to hoard your information. And by no means do I think that I am the source of all truth. I am 100% not the source of all truth. I've got one way of doing things, one way that has worked really well for me for the last 17 years. So I'm happy to share any experiences I have that's working for me. But we have such a rock star community of speakers here. We have so many people in so many different industries, so many different years of experience, from many, many years to just getting started. There's people who are using tech and AI and things in lots of cool ways. So I encourage all of you to embrace the abundance mindset, to embrace the fact that we can all do well. If you've ever been on one of these sessions, I don't hold back anything. I share everything. And you know what? Nothing has changed in my speaking career. It still goes just fine, and yours will go just fine as well. In fact, I think the more we help each other, the better the overall industry does. And if we overall do better, hopefully the speakers who suck will raise their game and not suck as much, and the speakers who do well will get put in the front. And I think that's what matters and what we care so much. So that is the premise. That is the philosophical approach that we take. I like to use the term unicorn speakers because we're not afraid of feedback, and we like to share. And most speakers are afraid of feedback. Well, I don't say most speakers. There are some speakers that are afraid of feedback because they don't want proof positive that maybe they're not as good as they believe they are, and they don't like to share because they believe in scarcity, and that's not who we are. Quick celebration. Last month was one of our largest user growth months ever. So we had a huge user growth month last month, and that's all because of rockstar speakers like you. It's kind of interesting. We try lots of different growth mechanisms and growth levers. Nothing beats speakers like you telling your friends about it, using your referral links on your dashboard. Every one of you have a referral link. That by far still outperforms everything because you know speakers, people trust you. So if you have a speaker friend that you're in communication with who's not using Talkadot, feel free to share your referral link. They get 30 days of Pro for free. If they do decide to upgrade to a Pro account whenever that seems right for them, you will get $50 for every person you refer, and they'll get a discount off of the annual price. So it's a win-win. So thank you all for allowing us to have one of our largest user growth months in the history of the company. The way the AMAs work is that you basically raise your hand, as Gina Glover just did. And as you raise your hand, we're just going to go through all the questions. We don't have a set topic. We don't have a set specific things. So typically people join these sessions because they have specific questions and they want to get them answered very quickly. Or maybe you just like to hear what other questions people are asking. So maybe you can catch a slight edge on how you get better. Either way, we got the best community of speakers, the best information we possibly can. So we're going to jump right in and go with the Gina Glover.
Thank you, sir. So I wanted to give you props. I'm really happy to hear where you are with the growth. We just had our first official NSA Wisconsin meeting yesterday, and you came up. Talkadot was mentioned to the whole room. We wanted everybody to know that this is a tool many of us use and lean on. And so just wanted you to know we are continuing to lift up Talkadot to everybody that comes into our chapter.
Shout out to Wisconsin. I feel like I want to say cheese state, but I feel like that's too obvious. That's too
No,
like
it's all right. It's all
that's
good. Yeah,
that's
we'll
too
take
like cheese. I'm gonna go cheese curd. Young cheese that's squeaky. Shout out to the young
it. Yeah,
squeaky cheese state of
we show love
Wisconsin.
with cheese. It's all good. Um,
What's up, Judah? Thank you.
So my question though, I have a talk tomorrow and it required me to send the presentation way in advance so
Mhm.
they could queue it up on the main stage. And at the time, it's a newer talk. It's a talk I don't do often. So I didn't have a giveaway
Mhm.
because I hadn't thought through it enough. So I did
Sure.
one without just the generic, right?
Mhm.
And I'm debating if I could just bring them to like a page on a website or something. And I can't update the PowerPoint. I can't update the slide now, but can I just give them the code from the stage? Does
Yeah.
anybody do that? Or have you done that? Does it work?
Great question. So, quick clarifying question so I can better answer that for you. Did you use the talk code or did you just create a code that was like Glover or something like that?
Talk code.
Okay. So, couple of things that I want to bring to your attention for the future, and then I'm going to answer your question. So, this might solve it in the future.
Okay.
So, we've made an update on the way that our system works. So, when you create a code now, so let's say, for example, you might notice for those of you who are OG members that this looks a little bit different.
Different.
Um,
Yep.
one of the things that we did is make giving a giveaway optional. Okay. So the reason why that's important to know is previously, if you wanted to use a generic code, you had to use the word talk. We still keep talk in your system in case you're a brand new user and you're freaking out because you got to talk in 20 minutes and you don't know what to do. You just need to download a slide. But in the future, you could create like a code that says, uh, give me that, whatever, right? And whatever your code, I'm sure you want to do that, right? So you name it, whatever you want to name it. Um, something, and then you don't have to upload something for this code. You can just go, next. Then you can alter and change it if you want to change your 1 to 5 Likert scale. You can add your custom question. Now you can preview your code right within the system to make sure it looks and functions just the way that you want it to look. And then you can say, looks good, download it. So what I would recommend doing in the future is if you're creating a brand new presentation, create a code, whatever the code might be, because then you can always go to that code. Give me that, which I just created here. And then I can edit it and then upload a bonus later. So you now have that ability to do that. Okay. If you're giving away something generic like talk, here's what I would do if I was in your current situation and I use the talk slide, but now I did have something I wanted to give away. What I would do is say, hey, everyone, go ahead and give me your feedback. And after this session's over, I'm going to email you whatever the blitty blue is, right? So
Okay.
say, I'll email it to you. And then what I would do is I would simply go to your my leads section right here. And then if you go to your email opt-ins, you're going
Okay.
to see everyone from tomorrow's talk, right? So I would just click on all those, download those, and then say, hey, thanks so much for attending my session at the really cool thing. Here's the thing that I promised you, check it out. So it's a little bit more manual, but you don't
Yeah.
have to make any big
Yeah.
changes or doing it. You just keep it simple, easy peasy, and say, I'll email it to you afterwards.
Why I'm here, man. You've got my back. I so appreciate it. Okay, that's all I'm here for. I will sit and listen for a while and then I'm going to bow out so I can rehearse again.
Listen, go out there, rock it. Can we get a round of applause for Gina going out here, booking speaking engagements, changing lives, wearing wonderfully framed glasses? I feel like Gina, you're the type of person that if I saw you without your glasses, I may not recognize you. I feel like your glasses frame your face. So do you get that? Like if you don't have your glasses on, you say hello, they're like,
When I was in college, I used to run in college. And when I would go to practice, I'd wear my contacts and people would just literally not recognize me who were
you'd
in
be like,
class with me.
be like,
Yep.
I'm your friend. I've known you for 3 years. Be like,
Nope. Didn't know who
nope.
I was. It's hilarious.
Funny thing is, I have this like deep fear that uh, have you Have you ever given a speaking engagement and have been invited back, and then there's someone in the audience who walks up to you, and you haven't seen anyone in a year, you don't recognize them, and they're like, "Oh man, how you doing?" And you're like, "Good, good. How you doing, buddy?" You know, and you're like, "I don't know who you are." So I always like to give people. That happened to me the other day. Someone walked up to me at an event, and they looked at me, and they did that "you don't recognize me" look, and I was like, "Please don't. This is socially awkward. Don't do that to me. Just say, hey, it's me from the thing, and then we can have a wonderful conversation. Don't make me uncomfortable." All right, thank you, Gina. Peter, what's going on, brother?
I'm doing well today. Thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it. My name is Peter A. because no one can say my last name or spell it. And I hail from NSA Carolinas. I'm on the board. And Aurel, I want to follow up with something that happened to me the last time we spoke. And that was I could not get into my account because I don't remember the password, couldn't fix it or whatever. And then when I did, it recognized me as a new user or whatever. So your guy Mike took care of me.
Okay.
I finally went back into the account, and that first event was several months ago. So now I don't think it's showing up. It says you can get the data if you upgrade. So that's okay. I can deal with that.
So you should be able to get the data, regardless if you've upgraded or not. If you have over 100 email contacts, it should only show the first 100. If it's showing you something different, that's not right, and we need to fix that for you.
Okay, then we need to fix it because it's not showing me anything.
Can you do you hold on, let me do a quick I'm gonna go into my my little admin panel and see if I can solve it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If I can't solve it, easy peasy lemon squeezy, what I'll do is send a ticket to my boy Mike, and we'll have you set up within like, do you remember what would it be Peter A? What would be the username for what was it?
Peter A is the which I just had it up here. Let me see if I can find it.
So we've got Peter, I'm not gonna say it, but Peter A Speaks. I've got that one.
Okay.
And what would the other account possibly be? Oh wait, I think I see it. Hold on.
Peter A. So I have two accounts out there.
You have two accounts. Hold on.
Ah, that explains it.
Okay, so one of them doesn't have any data in it.
Yeah.
And
that's the one I'm looking at.
Yeah, so I'm gonna solve that problem for you. Super easy. Boop, boop, boop. Hold on. Let me make sure this account has your data. I'm not sharing my screen, obviously not to share as personal. There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna email you, a DM you. Can you see in the chat that email address that I just put in the chat directly to you?
You see yes.
Okay. Log in with that email. That's the account that's got your responses in it from last year. The other account that you have doesn't have any data in it. So what I would do if I were you is I would right now, if you could, log in with that. If you have any trouble logging in, you can do forget your password, go to that email. Okay. If you need any help support, I can get you in, and then confirm you can see it, and you should be good to go.
Gotcha. Now, I do want to follow up with a question because I'm doing an engagement next week, and then I'm doing an engagement in November. So when I went to this thing, it says, "Hey, you have two more uses out of this thing." Is that correct, or correct. No, or I have to upgrade now to do anything? That's my question.
No. So probably what you're thinking about is the offer codes. So you get 3 different offer codes on a free account. So for clarity of use, let me pull up my account and show you this so you can see it. You can use it unlimited in terms of responses of data for free. Here you can see my account's a little bit aggressive, but it says 67 active codes. So these are codes like goal, hero, growth, DEI, ADT. So you get 3 of those for free. So if you create one, you've got 2 more codes that you can use. Let me stop you on that way. You have 2 more codes that you can use. So you can do like Peter A or awesome or joy or leadership. So those are the things that you have a limited access to, but you can use it as a tool to generate responses unlimited on a free account. You will, on the lead section, be limited to 100 of these. So we'll give you the first 100. And then after that, you've got to upgrade to a pro to unlock the rest of everything above that 100.
Okay, so then if my engagement next week is supposed to be 300 people, let's say you got 100%, and so I'd only be able to see 100 emails.
The first 100, that's right. And then if you wanted, if there were 300 altogether, you'd then want to upgrade to a pro account to unlock the other 200.
Okay, so if I do an offer, if I give them a little one-sheeter or something as a gift, or will all 300 get them, or just the first 100?
No, all 300 will get it. You'll get the data and the feedback, and you'll get the reports for all 300. All 300 will get your tool. You'll get the contact information of the first 100 people.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I greatly appreciate it.
My pleasure. This is why we're here. Now I got a really weird, the sun is in a really weird place on my forehead. It's driving me crazy. Hold on. I'm going to move my shade because I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to focus. Hold on. I don't know what the sun's doing. Okay. Better. Okay. Thank you, Peter. All right. Let's go. Opulence.
Hi, Errol.
What's up, Opulence?
My question is just that I get the leads and I send out those emails following up being like, oh, I see you want to book me. And nobody has ever responded to me. So I just want some insight if you had on how I can improve that messaging with those leads.
Yeah, great question. Are you using the template we've shared, your own? Tell me a little bit about the email itself you're sending.
Oh my gosh, I feel a little embarrassed. I must have missed the template. I don't have the pro version, so I think that's probably
that. Yeah, so no worries. I can give you some tips, right? So I'll give you a couple of tips on doing the follow-up. One is a philosophical approach, and then the second is a practical approach, right? So philosophically, let's say IRL Moody, I'm like, yo, I book speakers. I'd like to book you, Opulent, right? But I may not have an event coming up until March 2024 or October 2024. So even though I've expressed that I want to book you, your main objective is to find out, is this a right now thing or a eventually thing, right? So that's the first philosophical thing, right? So you got to imagine booking a booking lead. A lot of it is timing, right? It's right place, right time. So what you should not assume is every single one of your booking leads is throwing an event in November and they don't have a speaker and they're freaking out and they need to book you. Does that happen? 100%. I literally just got a message for a speaking opportunity for like, I think there's no way the event's gonna happen, but they wanted me to do a professional development in like 2 weeks. And that almost never happens. Typically it's a month out minimum. If people are freaking out, if it's 2 weeks out, that means something went really wrong. So your first thing is to just say, hey, thanks so much for reaching out. I noticed that you acknowledged that you might be interested in booking. Love to jump on a call to find out. So again, it also is part of your deal flow. So do you want to jump on a call with everyone? Some people don't. So you could say, do you have an event coming up that you want to discuss now? Or is this something that you'd like to discuss later? Let me know which one is best, right? You can kind of give like optionality there. Now, people will respond in a few ways. The first way is they will ignore you, right? The second way is they will respond and say, eventually, reach out like later, or they'll be like, yeah, let's jump on a call. Now, if they ignore you, we recommend a 5-step email sequence for everyone before you assume the lead is not hot anymore. The reason why a 5 email sequence is so important is because don't show me your email account, Opulence, but I imagine if I went to your email right now, how many new emails do you get per day, roughly? So many, right? So many. So what typically happens is, yes, I might be interested in booking you to speak, but you know what? You're not on the top of my to-do list because I was away at an event to see you speak. So when I'm away at an event to see you speak, what happens when I come back to my workplace? Well, I got to catch up on everything that I didn't do because I was on the workplace, everything that came in. So I think what happens for a lot of us is they go, hey, but you said you were booking me to speak. Why aren't we jumping on the phone right now? It has nothing to do with their interest or relationship with you. It's simply because that's a important thing, but not an urgent thing. Have you ever heard the Eisenhower matrix? It's important and urgent, right? So there's important, there's urgent. So when it's urgent, people like to reach out. By the way, I ain't gonna call out anyone on this call because I don't know if anyone on this call falls into this category. But how many of y'all signed up for your Talkadot account because you had a speech like tomorrow? And you were like, oh Lord, I've been hearing about Talkadot. Let me get Talkadot right now. Hey, Mike, could you jump on a call and get me set up with my account real quick? Like, because it's an urgent issue. It's important that your talk is coming up, but you're like, that's 3 weeks from now. That's 4 weeks from now. I got time. But when it's urgent, we got to do it right now. So that's one philosophical thing, right? Is simply some people are getting caught up. So that's why I recommend doing 5-step email. What does a 5-step email sequence look like? First email is very simple. Hey, it's Opulence. Thank you so much for attending my session. I was looking through my data and I saw that you indicated you wanted to book me to speak. Is that something that is urgent? We need to jump on a phone right now for, or is that something that eventually in the future will turn up, right? And you just want to find out where they are. So they're going to respond or not respond. If they don't respond, you basically go to that email, hit reply, and go, hey, just want to confirm you got my previous email. Let me know what you think about my email below. They don't respond after like 2-3 days. You go back to that email, hit reply, and say, hey, I know life can be real hectic and real busy. I'm not sure if my email hit the top of your inbox. Let me know if what you think, right? Then you do 4th email. Hey, sent you a couple of emails, haven't heard from you. Last thing I'd want to do is ever bother you. So let me know if this is something you want to talk about, because I would hate to bother you, something like that. And then 5th email is what's called the breakup email in the biz. Hey, I've reached out to you 4 times. Typically when I reach out to somebody, 4 times they don't respond, either A, they're really, really busy and they really want to get back to me, but they've been busy, or B, they're not interested and I just hope I go away. I would never want to bother you. So let me know which one it is. If not, I won't be reaching out to you about this anymore. You're kind of like taking it away a little bit. So people were really interested. Go, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. I got blah, blah, blah. My kid was sick and they had their tonsils removed and there was so many soccer games. Please forgive me. Is typically what happens. Or they'll be like, nah, and they ignore you. Now, if you use something like mailtrack.io or Yesware for Gmail or any of these various email tools, you can actually track if people have opened your email. Now, if I send 4 emails and they've never been opened and I go to my track and they haven't been opened, I assume my email is going to spam. It's been like shifted. So they've never seen it. If they've opened my email 4 times and not responded, then I'm like, okay, what's up, buddy? What's going on? And then at that point, if they don't respond after the 5th email, they go on to my newsletter where basically so I don't have a normal cadence. I probably should. Like if I was smarter, I would probably do something every week, every month, but I send emails out to my list when I feel emotionally moved to, and I go, here's some valuable piece of content. And then at the bottom of that email newsletter, I go, if you're interested in a speaker, click here to jump on our calendar to talk more. And then I just play the long game with those people. So my mindset is always, you're going to book me now or you're going to book me later, but you're going to book me, right? Like if you're booking speakers and you know who I am, it's just a matter of right time, right fit. And sometimes people book me 6 years in the future. Sometimes they book me 6 weeks in the future. But as long as you have, might I say, that abundance mindset, it'll eventually log in and you'll be good. So I just killed a fly with a sledgehammer with that answer, but I hope it was thorough. And there is a replay. I think someone asked about that. And if you have any questions about that, happy to help support. All good to go? Thanks, Opulence. All right. David, what's up, player?
Hey, thanks, Earl. 2 things. First of all, I'm the program officer on the board for NSA Colorado. And so I understand that NSA Colorado now has access to Talkadot. Unfortunately, I had to miss the orientation session on that. So I'm fairly new. I'm using Talkadot myself in a talk that I've got coming up in 3 weeks. I'll have a question about that in a moment. But what's the first thing I need to know about using Talkadot on October 20th with our next meeting that's coming up?
Yeah, great question. So a couple of things, quick questions I have for you. Have you created your slide yet, or do you want me to show you how to create a slide? Because that's the most important thing.
I have not, but I
Cool.
see how to do that.
Yeah, so this
in
is the
my
first
account. So I don't know how to do that for NSA Colorado.
Oh, for NSA Colorado itself. For NSA Colorado, what you want to do at this stage is have the speaker either give you their Talkadot slide or create a Talkadot slide for them, right? So you can go like, hey, go to this link, create a free account. So in January is going to be our official launch date. So what we're doing right now is getting all of the speakers basically just on the system, and we're having it as a speaker-led tool first. And then what we're going to do is sync up all of that, because without data, it doesn't work, and it's a whole kind of back-end thing of getting people in. So if you are, hold on, let me take a step back for clarity. Are you speaking at another chapter, or are you having a speaker come to your chapter?
No, I've got a speaker coming in on
Okay, great.
October 20th.
That person on
next week.
October 20th, are they an NSA member or are they not an NSA member?
Yes, they're an NSA.
Okay, great. So what I would encourage you to do right now at this stage of the game is simply to tell them to create a free Talkadot account and give them your slide, so that you can tee it up for them, or they can tee it up themselves. And then what we're
Okay.
going to do is match all of those speakers on the back end for you through our system. And then in January, it'll be a lot more prettier and ready to execute.
Oh, I see.
But right now, we're just getting people into the system so that we can match everybody accordingly. So that's the most important step you need to do right now.
Okay. All right. Great. Now, my second question, if you don't mind, I said I'm new to this. I'm going to be using this myself for a talk that I've got coming up for an association in 3 weeks. Now, I've spoken to this association 5 out of the last 6 years. They pay me to come do career development talk for them, which is great. I have not been successful at turning into a lot of follow-up business. So I'm really looking forward to doing that with Talkadot. I'm also in the process of getting set up with SpeakerFlow. I assume you have some familiarity with SpeakerFlow.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, so I'm about to enter the orientation phase with them. I haven't had my training call with them yet. They're scheduling a couple of weeks out. What's the first thing I need to know about making sure that when the time comes in 3 weeks, I'm ready to take my Talkadot data and get it into my CRM at SpeakerFlow? Is that a pretty automatic thing, or are there a lot of
great
hoops I
question.
can jump through?
So here's what you want to do. In your account, on the upper right-hand corner where your face is, there's a settings functionality. You want to click on your settings functionality and scroll down to where it says integration settings and SpeakerFlow. What you need is something called a webhook, okay? Austin and Taylor will set you up with that webhook. All you have to do is paste it in here and then turn that on, and that's it. And you're done. And it all plays well. And it's a beautiful, lovely relationship we have with those guys. So all you got to do is paste your webhook there, which Taylor and Austin will show you how to get that within their Zoho system. Paste it in there. And then your leads will be tagged as your leads. Your booking will be tagged as your booking. Whatever automations they set up for you within Zoho will automatically trigger. And you can sit back, eat yourself some crumpets, drink yourself some tea, and get your business.
I just went there and it looks like they've already done that. I've got a Zoho.com webhook already pasted in there, and it looks like it's turned on. So they're a step ahead of me.
Then you're all good. Then you just go out there and you knock it out the park and you get your leads, and it's all going to automate for them. Taylor and also, if anyone doesn't know what SpeakerFlow is, they're a CRM system specifically built for speakers' needs. They have 2 great guys who have luxuriously long beards and great demeanors that will help you make sure your back end of your business is set up really well. So you're good to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks so much, David. All right. Michael Pope Jr., what up, player?
How you doing, Ariel?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for sharing.
Do you use the junior? Do you use the junior, Mike? Hold on. Do you use the junior?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because there's so many Michael Popes out there too. So it's
Oh, so that's like a distinct. Okay, I got you. Because I see your name on the bottom doesn't have junior. And I was like, wait a minute, I got the junior in my brain. Okay. What's up, brother?
Yeah, because all of my social media handles, I have the junior, Michael J. Pope Jr. Keep it consistent. So my first question is two questions. So one, on the settings, there's an option for a meeting link. What is that used for?
Great question. Okay, so all right. So when oh Lord have mercy. Hold on. Let me log out, log in. Thank you. Okay. So when someone gives you feedback, right? And they go through this process and they do this. Boop, 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 boop. This. Do you book paid speakers for events? If they indicate yes, and then you say, hey, would you want to book Michael J. Pope Jr.? Yeah. Hey, here's my information. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. If they say yes and they give you their contact information, at the end of your, I didn't put in the, dang it, hold on. I didn't put in the title. That's why I didn't do it. Hold on. Doop, doop. Okay. Duh, 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 duh. Yes, yes. Here's this. Here's the phone. Here's my title. Here's my organization. If they put in all of their lead information, at the end screen, we will surface your calendar link. And it only gets surfaced for the hottest of the hot leads, because we don't want you to get like 75 meetings for people just to be like, bro, you kind of look like a new school Harry Belafonte, man. You one of the most handsome dudes I've ever seen, right? Though those I'm sure are wonderful conversations, you just want the people to get your calendar link surface. So if you have You Can Book Me Schedule Ones, my event planner uses Google's direct calendar integration. That's where that shows up.
Perfect. And then I got a feature request.
Yeah.
So are there any plans on giving us the ability to export testimonials? I did a training the other day showing team members how to use Talkadot and showing them how I manually copy the testimonials and put them in Chat GTP, kind of like what you showed us. Mm-hmm. And people were asking, is there a way where you can just click the export button to copy or something?
Yeah, there is. So you want to go to your speaking engagement, right? So this is your homepage. You go to your speaking engagement, right? So let's say this group that I spoke to last month now. You see where it says actions right here? You just click on the three dots and you see where it says download testimonials right here. Yeah, you can download your leads for your events. You can do all that stuff from here. So you just click download testimonials and then it'll pop up a CSV file with all of your testimonials, making it a little bit easier so the feature, it's maybe a little bit too hidden, but yeah, that feature exists for you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great question. By the way, when you see Chris Robinson, give him a high five for me. We're having good conversations. Chris,
I'll see him on Friday, so I'll make sure I do that.
Give him a chest bump. Make it real awkward. Make it real awkward. Okay. Chris, what's going
on? Hey, I was just wondering about speaker bureaus. I've been in contact with one recently and just wanted your thoughts on all of that, all things speaker bureau.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you my very limited knowledge of speaker bureaus. Maybe someone else is better fitted because I've never been represented by a speaker bureau. I've always been self-represented. I've had a few speaker bureaus reach out to me. I've spoken to a few people that work with speaker bureaus. Ultimately, this is my TLDR of my knowledge, and this is totally from the outside, not as someone who's experienced it. Typically, speaker bureaus like you if they don't have to do much work to book you, right? Meaning they've got inbound leads. They've got their company's going, we need Chris, get us Chris, that's what they really like. So if you can, prove to them like, hey, people want to book me, I'm in demand, it's going to be really easy for you to book me. It becomes easier for them to feel comfortable, right? Because you got to think about if I'm Washington Speakers Bureau and I've got 1,600 speakers on my list, why am I promoting you over someone else? Well, are you hot or do you got something that makes it easier? So that's number one. Number two, speaker bureaus are, this is a guess, unless I'm totally wrong, it was a very transactional communication with them. Are you available? What's your fee? Can we book you? Let us know. So one of the things, and I have spoken to speaker bureaus, I have spoken to agents, and one of the things that they've told me is be very quick to respond, be very easy to work with. So like if you do work with one and they email you and go, Chris, we got an opportunity for you in Atlanta on November 15th. Can you do it? Let them know yes or no right away, because if you don't, they've sent that email to like 7 other speakers on their roster. And if you delay even like a day or two, you may have already lost it to someone else. Now, speaker bureaus will take anywhere from 25 to 35% of all of your speaking engagements. Now, I reached out to a gentleman who's probably arguably the highest paid keynote speaker who regularly speaks in the country. And I asked him for his feedback and opinion, and he basically said this. In the beginning, when you're at that kind of like point where you're getting a lot of leads, but not enough, and you're not in front of like the $25,000, $35,000, $40,000 audiences just yet, speaker bureaus are amazing. because they get you in front of those higher speaker fees. Because there are some organizations, they'll never book you if you're not a part of a speakers bureau. They just don't. They want the white glove service. So if you want to start getting those much higher fees, they're amazing. Then what becomes a little challenging is that over time, you actually don't need the speakers bureau anymore, right? Like you kind of needed them. Then when you're like crushing it because you got Talkadot, you've got the leads coming in, you just spoke at Accenture, and you've got like 12 different departments saying they want you to book, typically those bureaus will go, well, that's our business. Like you spoke at that event, give it to us, and then we'll go ahead and get it. Now, in the beginning, that's wonderful. And to me, it sounds like a wonderful relationship, but I can also understand how over time, it could be like, golly, you're just pretty much taking the order and you're getting 30%. Now, if you're making enough money off of the total fee, who cares? Win-win. Now, the last thing I'll say about it, and then I'll open it up. I did speak to another woman who is all in on speaker bureaus. And this is what she said is her philosophical approach. She's got like, I don't know what the number is, but she said 80% of her speaker deals, and she's a very high paid female speaker, comes from bureaus. But she's got not one exclusive relationship with a bureau. So she has all non-exclusive relationships. So she basically says, I've got like 50 people out there who are promoting me, actively putting stuff out. And because of that, 80% of my deal flow comes from bureaus. So what's great about that is she has a lot more free time to focus on content development, speaker demo videos, social media content, which sometimes when you're trying to book speaking engagements, that takes up all of your mental bandwidth on the biz dev side. So that is all the knowledge I have on bureaus. That may have been helpful or totally a waste of your time. I don't know. But I'm also open to open it up to anyone if you want to unmute yourself. If you work with bureaus, if you've had experience with them, maybe you run a bureau. I don't know all the people on this call. But that's my 2 cents. I'd love to hear from anyone else if they might want to add. Nope. Okay.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I got one more question. Because you just mentioned it and it made me think of it as well. A speaker reel. I just did one, and the bureau that I'm mentioning said, "I'm so glad you have this. We wouldn't be able to promote you if you don't have it." And so I just wondering like how important is that? Or
super
have
important.
You seen,
a demo reel? Like by all means, if you're a speaker and you don't have a demo reel, that's why you're not getting booked to speak.
Yep.
You know, it's like someone saying like, hey, could you watch my kids? Sure. Can I see a picture of you? No. No, you're not going to watch my kids. You know, so a demo reel is the proof positive of your ability to speak. It's basically the trailer for your movie, right?
Gosh, I just thought my Talkadot results were the proof positive that I'm good at this. But
you know, the demo video is undefeated. We all need a demo video. Now, I'd like to say if you add your Talkadot results on top of that, then you make it way.
That's what I'm doing, because I'm going to show the reel. My thought was I can show them the reel and I can look good for 2 minutes or whatever on the video. But I also want to be like, hey, this talk landed really well for this group of people, and here's proof. So
and to me, because a lot of people, this is like the secret of the demo reels, or not the secret, the like not so hidden secret of the demo reels. I could make a lump of wood look interesting if I cut it up correctly, right? If I add enough like lens flares and, you know, transitions. So having actual data improved to be like, no, this is legit. Like it's not only good on the highlight reel, it's good on the reviews. That's kind of like, I like to use the movie analogy. Think of your demo video like your trailer, and think of your Talkadot results kind of like the critics and the movie reviews and what people are saying about it. That's what gets people to actually move, because they're like, ooh, like the demo was, the trailer was hot and people are talking about it. So it's like together, it's phenomenal. Let me know how it goes. If you decide to work with the bureau and they decide to work with you, like, please keep us updated. Like it's wonderful to know like all different experiences with it. So thanks so much, Chris. Tamiko. Hopefully I said that right.
You did. Hi, how are you?
Hey, Tamiko.
I am new to this as well. I actually saw one of my friends post this on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh my God, I need to find out more about this. And I'm in the wrong session because I need to see like your whole process. But one thing that came up as someone else was just sharing, I think you showed like a lead sheet and how people get to this final thing of booking you. For me, I guess my audience is a little bit different. So I'm in the education industry, and who I'll be talking to are educators. And also like probably some parents and also like leaders and superintendents. So if I do this and it gets to the page of would you want to book me, I don't know if they would be the ones to say that, right? So like, are you in this form that you have? Is it a way that you can, I guess like what I just saw on your other one is like a e-piece where you can I'm sorry, I'm off camera, sorry. But is there a lead piece where you are focusing in on two different types of end results that you want? Because with the educators, I will want them to try to book another call to talk more about whatever we talked about. But with people who are able to be, who have the purse or the wallet, I want them to be able to do the other things. So is there two different things that it goes to, or is it just one? Okay.
There is. So you got a couple of options, Tamiko. So I'm going to show you what your options are since you're new, and this might also be helpful for everyone else's review. Okay. So the first thing is when you create your slide, okay, your Talkadot code, you have the option to not collect leads if you didn't want to. Okay. Now, if you can collect leads, I always recommend collecting leads, but sometimes you might have a scenario like, so for example, if you're speaking to a room full of 7th graders, I would turn the lead generation off, right? Because that's not, you don't need to do that. So you would just toggle don't. And we say, are you sure? And you say, yeah, I'm sure, or you keep it that way. Number 2, when someone is actually taking your Talkadot feedback, this is important for you to know how our system works, which is very different than other tools out there, right? So let's say someone puts in their code, they put in an email, and they go through giving you feedback, okay? Now, I want you to notice this. Do you book speakers? If the person says no, it actually bypasses all of the lead generation questions. So they're not going to get asked, do you book speakers? So for example, if I said no, it jumps straight to the testimonial, right? So it's not asking people like, so if I'm an educator, I'm just like a English teacher, I can't book speakers, I'm gonna hit no, it totally bypasses them. Now, however, I'll show you this because this is important to also know. I'll just put in the code there. They might be what you're calling an influencer, right? So there's decision makers and there's influencers. Now, someone might say, no, but I can introduce you to someone who does. If they say, no, but I can introduce you to someone who does, when you go to your My Lead section, they go over to your referrals category. So the booking category is all of the people in your audience. It might be 2 or 3 people that said, hey, I am a superintendent of a school. I book speakers. I want to book you. They go into your booking. But the referrals are people who say, I don't book speakers, but I can introduce you to someone who does. So you have different conversations with your booking and your referrals, but they're nice and organized for you. So you're not jumping on a call not knowing who's who or who's you know, like, oh, this is a referral. This person's an influencer, not a decision maker. This person's a decision maker. So you can have a different conversation. And typically my conversations.
Hi, this is Kathy.
Typically when it's Zoom, it's how Zoom works. So if I have a referral, I want to inquire about what were you thinking about? Who are you thinking about introducing me to? Who do you know that we need to bring into this conversation? If they're a booking lead, it's more about tell me about your event. What were you thinking about? So you have all of those options and the system automatically moves in different directions based on how they answer it, and it automatically categorizes them. So you're good to go. You're good to go.
So when is the next one, I guess, where you go through the demo of what this is?
3 o'clock today is the very next one. 3 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time zone you're in. So if that doesn't work for you, what I recommend doing, and I'll share this with everyone, in case some people don't know when we do those, if you go to talkadot.com and you scroll down to the bottom of our page, we have the upcoming schedule for our AMAs, which is what we're on right now, which is the Ask Me Anythings. And we also have our schedule for our next onboarding sessions. So if you ever want to go, I want to know how to use the tool, I want to learn how to get set up with it and all the functionality, that's going to be really good for the onboarding because that's where we walk through everything. And if you just have questions that you want to get answered, that's what the AMAs are for. You're welcome, Tamika. All right. Michael J. Pope Jr., he changed his name. He felt self-conscious because I said Michael Pope. And he
Yeah, I
said,
didn't
you know
realize
what?
I was logged in with the other account, the Maxwell
So
account.
he done changed it. Yeah, what's up, brother?
All right. So a feature request that came up ahead of my notes. So on the public page, any thought of giving us the option to add a video there?
Yes, that is for sure coming. I actually can't wait for you to see we have a what we call a profile that we're working on right now. That's going to come out eventually. But right now it just has text, but we're going to have the ability in the future, hopefully, for you to have lots of cool things on there. Like you can have your Maxwell certifications on there, and you can have like different certs, and you can have videos of like, here's my demo video, or here's my intro video or something like that. So that is on the roadmap, and you'll 100% get that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. I want that too. It's weird because there's things I want, and I'm like, I know we have a roadmap. It takes time to build. I'm like, guys, I want it. Do it. We're gonna have some cool features. We're working on a bunch of. We just hired a new engineer. Not that any of you necessarily care about that, but the team's growing. We got 3 engineers now that are out here building things and making it happen. So we're hopefully going to be able to more quickly get to iterations and changes and little quality of life improvements that's going to make your life way better. So we can't hire those engineers without all of you using Talkadot and telling people about it. So thank you for allowing us to grow so we can better serve you. So those things will be coming. Kenston.
Hey. So a couple things. One, Black NSA gave you a shout out. So there should be more people joining. I was at the last meeting, and so yeah, they're coming in. Also, as far as the speaker bureaus go, I'm a part of several of them. And so I just see it as an addition to my own marketing strategy. And so as people are out there selling me as well. So it's a good thing. But a lot of speaker bureaus, they have so many speakers. And so it comes down to whoever's really looking for that they select you or searching specifically for you. But other than that, my question is, do you think that I should use Talkadot for conferences that are specifically for just one company?
So like it's yes, 100%. I would. So I'll give you a perfect example, okay? This just happened to me. So this company PAR is it's a company. So I did a presentation and I was able to get leads from that organization that were from different departments. So I got a lead from the VP of sales and I got a lead for their DEI initiative, right? So even though I spoke to one company, they've got different departments and those departments have their own individual budgets, right? So if I'm speaking to a company, I'm as long as there's no like I spoke to a insurance related group. I'm not allowed to say the name of the company because they said you can't say our name because of like regulations and such. So in cases where you're not allowed to collect leads because of privacy reasons, then I would just turn off the lead generation and contact collection portion of it, but still get data and feedback. In a case where I'm speaking to a company, if they can't book me to speak because they're like, I'm a frontline employee, I can't book you to speak, they're just going to hit no. And then they're not going to get any questions that are not relevant to them. So I would still use it if you're dealing with a company with individuals because of the different departments.
Okay, appreciate it.
Knocking out the park, man. I hope it goes really well.
Thank you.
Is Kenston is that a West Indian first name?
No, just my great grandfather. So
is he West Indian though?
Mm-mm.
He's not. Okay, that feels like a very like. I feel like there's like a dude in Jamaica with that name. I have Jamaican family. I'm Jamaican, so I have Jamaican family members, and that's like Kingston, Wellington. It's that ton feels very West Indian. So I was just checking, but clearly I've gone further than I should because you've already said no, and here I am still talking about it. So I'm gonna move on.
It's all good.
Good to talk to you, brother. Shout out to the Black NSA, by the way. Shout out to Black NSA. Love y'all. All right, cool. Oh, we got other Jamaicans. What up, Michelle? We got other Jamaicans in the house. Shout out to you. Okay, other questions. We got 8 more minutes before we hit the top of the hour. These are great questions, by the way. Golly, everyone's firing such wonderful questions.
There's a couple in the chat, did you want to look at those?
Oh, I missed the chat ones. What was the question?
So
Hold on.
Deborah Gardner has left, but she asked about customizing the feedback slide and
Yes.
integrating
So
yourself.
the customization of the branding and the report is on the roadmap. This is a super big, important request for lots of people, and this is something that we definitely want to build. And when I say it's on the roadmap, it just means we haven't. It's actually more complex than it seems. So we've been working on other things on the roadmap to make things that we can solve right now and solve really well. So that will come. Stay patient with us. We promise you it will be there and you'll be able to use it. So that is on its way. Other questions I'm jumping through. Boop, boop. Did I miss any other ones? Did you see? Let me know. Oh, someone says, Lisa said, when someone calls to request you to speak, you follow up and they say they have to approve it and we'll get back to you within a week. And they don't. How do you respond? Well, I think Lisa is logged off. If you're watching this replay, if anyone has a question, my job is always to get a response. Their job is to respond. So I always know whose job is who. So if someone doesn't respond to me, my job is to get a response. So I'm going to send follow-up messages. Now, I happen to personally be a big fan of email. If someone is just like kind of, kicking tires and they're just like, oh, we want to get a sense of like what your budget is and if you're available, that's not really a hot lead, right? Like I'm not going to like follow up super hard, but like if someone jumps on a call, we do an hour conversation, they like go, yeah, we approve this. We want to do this. We just got to get the committee on board. I'm going to send follow-up emails. I might do a couple phone check-ins. I might send some text messages. I personally, it's just a strategy I do. If you don't do this, I would recommend considering it. The moment I have an interaction with someone, I then do a LinkedIn request. The moment I have an interaction with them. So if I have a speaker lead, someone who shoots me an email, someone who fills out one of my online forms, someone who jumps on the phone with me or my event planner or anything like that, the very first thing I do is I go to LinkedIn. The reason why I do that is for a couple of reasons. The first thing is I want to get in their algorithm. Eventually, I want you to continually see me posting about me speaking, my Talkadot results, and right? So one, I want to get in your algorithm. Number two, I want to get a vibe of who you are. Do you look like a jerk? Do you look like a nice person? Do you look like someone like that I'd like to? Do we have mutual connections? How many mutual connections do we have? Oh, do I know someone who might be able to like put in a good word for me? So I then use that as an omni-channel follow-up process. I'm sending emails, I'm sending Facebook messages. I start liking and commenting on their stuff, not even talking about a speaking engagement. Oh, this is so cool. Because, imagine like, it's not a great example, but imagine I owe Dr. Will money, right? Because Dr. Will, he's a baller and he just gives money out because he's like, I got enough sneakers. Everyone should have as many sneakers as I do, right? So he's just giving out money, right? And now I owe Dr. Will money. Now, Dr. Will don't ask me for the money, but he be commenting on my Facebook post. What's gonna happen for me? I'm gonna be like, damn, I know I owe him money. It's not like I forgot that I owe him money, but he's not pressuring me. He's not like, hey, bro, I'm about to like take you back to the streets and take your kneecaps and make them bend the other way. He ain't doing none of that. He's just like, hey, man, congratulations on all your success. Love seeing you grow. I know it's there. So like I do that as well. So I do like omni-channel. So I'm doing commenting, I'm doing DMs, I'm doing emails, I'm doing phone calls if I think it's worthy, so that I will get a response. And if people don't respond, then like, it's the name of the game, man. Like I don't know anyone out here that's getting 100% response rate. I ain't. And if you are, you probably reached out to one person, you got lucky. Okay, we'll move on. Kathy, what's going on, Kathy?
Hey, well, just a quick question. I don't think you saw it.
I'm sorry, I missed it. I apologize. What was it?
Did you figure out the coupon for the speaker leads?
Yes, I just looked into your chat and scrolled up, and it was literally right above A equals awesome, and I totally missed it because you did that right at the beginning. It is 1 month, not 2 months, so that is the deal. So I thought it was 2 months. I was mistaken. I misspoke. It is 1 month. That is the deal. So you get 400, 100 per week from my speaker leads, not 800. And I apologize for setting expectations here and then delivering here.
You're well forgiven.
Thank you, Kathy. You're so kind and so wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much, Kathy.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Oh, Dr. Will, what's up, player?
Man, I just always want to hop in here when I can, man, and thank you and the team. I'm actually getting ready to head to the airport today for an event, so looking forward to using Talkadot for these two upcoming events. But always just want to hop in here, encourage anybody who's not using this tool to use this tool. It literally is a game changer. Every time I use Talkadot, it leads to more business. Like it's literally the no-brainer of getting new business for us. So once you lock in that one, then you use Talkadot, and people are now telling you they want to hire you. I mean, it's phenomenal. So I just want to always thank you, Mike, and the whole team. You guys are doing amazing since day one to where Talkadot is right now. You're always listening to the community, always making improvements to the tool. So I just wanted to hop in here, man, and say thank you.
Thank you, man. Well, listen, I appreciate you, and that comes alive. I threw in Dr. Will's link. He has this Genius Speaker Academy and certification process, and he's not only an amazing speaker himself, but he helps so many speakers. So to have you say that means a lot to us, and I generally just want to say, like, we care, and I don't. A lot of people say they care, but like we do. We generally do. I speakers are my people, and I think there's like so many amazing human beings out there doing great work. So supporting this industry, lifting as we climb. It's hard for me to not be the sexiest bald brother with a goatee, but like when you show up, like I just kind of like I know where I am, so I accept it. But I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. All right, have a great. Where you going? Where in the world are you going?
Headed to Ohio.
When you're in the airport, do me a favor. I don't know if you've ever done this. It's amazing. When you're in the Ohio airport, just randomly yell OH and then just see what happens. Just go OH and then just see. Yeah. People will scream it from all corners. I only do it in the airport where people can't see me. It's so much fun. You just walk. If someone has an Ohio, like anything Ohio, I think it's a university. Mike, who is it? Which?
Yeah, OSU, Ohio State University.
All right, I didn't know that until just now. They do
it. So if you're going to Columbus, it's big there.
Just yell OH. People yell IO. It's like a fraternity, apparently, of the state. It's amazing.
I'm definitely going to do it, man. I thought you were setting me up to get me shot or something down in Ohio, but I'm definitely going to do it, man.
People will randomly give you hugs. They'll like name their children after you. The people love you if you just yell OH in the great state.
OH. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do it, man.
Give it a try. All right, we're at the top of the hour. Any other questions before we say toodles? Again, we do these AMAs pretty much every single week, and they're set up to answer just like you saw today if you're watching recording or joining us live. This is to get any questions that you have answered so you can move forward and succeed, and we're happy to help support in any way that we can. We care very deeply about your success, and by you engaging with us, letting us know about feature requests, allowing us to educate you about how to use a tool, you can use it more, get more speaking engagements, and make it easier for people to say yes to book you and turn one speaking engagement into multiple speaking engagements. And that, my friends, is the secret of living the speaker dream. If every single time you speak, you get more speaking opportunities, then literally it just creates this like really, really, really awesome ball of momentum. For some of us, it takes more time than others, but just know that once that ball starts rolling, it's like a snowball going down a hill. A little snowball ain't gonna do nothing. A big snowball taking out everybody and nothing you can do about it. So our goal is to build that momentum, keep building, keep posting our data, keep sharing what we're doing to show the impact of our work so that people in our network, in our algorithm, in our email can see that we actually are creating value. And that's why they should continue to work with us and continue to refer us so that we continue to do the good work that we care about. So thank you all for being here. If you enjoyed your time here today, my name is Arel Moody. If you disliked this in any way, my name is Will Moreland, and I hope you have a wonderful day.